Ciao. Good morning, y'all. It is 9:39 in California right now. I have less than an hour to do this. Less than an hour to do this, but I am pissed off. And I told Kendall I would be doing this. Kendall is too good of a person to do this, but I'll do this. I'll be the bad guy because this is some bullshit. For those of you who did not see the caption before we started this emergency live, I didn't do an emergency live for Wes and Sierra because that can wait, but I'm going to do a emergency live when you start bullying my friends online. Let me give you a little bit of context about how we got here. Yesterday, I texted Kendall because I knew he was coming back from Dallas for celebrating his birthday because it's April. It's everybody's birthday month, right? Kendall is April 1st. Bridget Kelly is April 9th. I think Dustin Ross is Friday, which is April 10th. Claudia Jordan is April 12th. My goddaughter is April 16th. Mel is April 19th. I'm April 24th. Rosa Acosta is April 27th, I think, or April 30th. I always get Rosa's mixed up because it's at the end. Anyways, April is a busy month for me and those that I love, right? We all have birthdays in April. So I hit up Kendall last night because I'm like, oh, I want to give him a chance to celebrate his birthday in Dallas before I tell him about my birthday at the end of the month in Malibu. So I sent Kendall a message last night saying, hey, Kendall, here are the deets about Malibu. We're having dinner. I got a beach house for me and Bridget and Estelle and my sister. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be amazing. Please come join us for dinner. I sent him that message expecting him to be excited, say he's going to be there, and then kiki about his trip. Instead, he sends me a video of one of his neighbors. Yo, I'm so mad right now. Kendall won't be talking about this because when you're being bullied in this way, especially when it has to do with your housing and false allegations and all type of stuff, you have to talk to legal counsel. You have to do X, Y, and Z. So this is not Kendall. The thoughts of Blue Telusma are the thoughts of Blue Telusma as a witness, because what's happening to Kendall, I actually saw as a witness happen in real time. What his bullies were not banking on was fucking me. Not too fucking much on my friend. What they weren't banking on was me. Because Kendall this time last year, let's go back to last year. This time last year, April 2025, we had just finished celebrating Kendall's birthday, and he was like, hey, I'm going to have to move because the place that I live in WeHo is crazy expensive, and I just want to be a little bit more responsible with how I maneuver my life, and I want to get like a cute home and pay my bills in a way that's responsible and think about retirement. Kendall is so reasonable. That's the thing y'all don't understand about social media and how people act versus who they really are. We know that on social media, he's very boisterous. Hey, best friend, X, Y, and Z. But in real life, Kendall is like a Aries with a Taurus rising, okay? He's very stable. He's always thinking about how to be responsible with his money. He's responsible with his home. You can't come to his house and act any old way. He doesn't throw wild, crazy parties. He doesn't even have a cleaning lady because he's always cleaning his house his damn self. I tell Kendall all the time that I want to be him when I grow up, okay? And it wasn't until I moved into this big-ass townhouse that I started to realize why Kendall moves the way he moves. Now that I live in this townhouse that cost me all this fucking money, I don't want everybody coming over my house all the time. You know how much I pay in rent? You know how close my neighbors are? I always joke that moving here made me understand Kendall more, right? Because the place that I currently live is very much like the place where he currently lives. So this time last year, Kendall's like, I need to find a nice, safe area where I can get me a townhouse, don't have to worry about people all up in my face, and just have a place for me and my dogs where we can live peacefully while I work on my next steps in my career. I said, bet, as soon as you move, let me know. I will help you move in. I'm that kind of friend that if I fuck with you heavy, I fuck with you heavy. And back then, the business hadn't taken off the way that it has now. So I also had a lot more free time on my hands, right? So I go off to London. While I'm in London, a couple of weeks later, Kendall hits me up like, yo, I found a space. It's in X area. I'm not going to say the neighborhood, but one of his famous celebrity friends lives in that neighborhood. He was like, it's an X area. It's a cute townhouse. It's perfect for me and my dogs. I only see myself really living there for like a year before I think of my next steps, but it's a nice little woosah before I figure out where I'm going to go to next. Listen to that. This time fucking last year, Kendall told me he was only thinking of being there for about a year. Because later, when the bullies get a hold of this story, they're going to lie and say that they ran him out of town. Lies, lies, lies. I was there. You're a fucking liar. Already, you're a fucking liar. So I'm thinking, okay, cute. I show up after London, literally fresh from the plane. I think I landed from London on like the 23rd. I was at Kendall's house like the 25th. We don't have to worry about me guessing because you know I got fucking timestamps. You know I have receipts, y'all, right? So I get off the plane from London and I decide, you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start doing Love Island content because I feel like I haven't done anything on my YouTube page. My followers from Instagram and TikTok are constantly telling me they want me to engage with them more. I'm going to start doing content on Love Island because I've been watching it so much, especially when I was in the UK. I was on the VPN watching Love Island while watching the UK reality shows. I was like, yo, Love Island is lit this year. I think I'm just going to start doing Love Island content. Little did I know that little decision would change my entire life. So I'm thinking, well, Kendall's a content creator. While I'm helping him unpack, I'll ask him for some tips because he's great at this content game. He has 1.9 million followers on Instagram alone, not even thinking about TikTok and the other platforms. I get to Kendall's house. I start helping him unpack. His friend, I think her name was Jazz, was there. Very pretty girl. And she's a content creator as well. And Kendall's like, this place is, a lot more chill than my last place. And we were like, no, Kendall, this is so quaint. It's so cute. It's the kind of place that you don't want it to be the party house. This is the kind of place where you and your friends can come and have like a little nest, right? We sold him on the place because he wasn't totally sold. He was like, are you sure? We were like, no, this place is cute. And you're in a quiet phase of life where you're reimagining what your career is going to look like. This is the perfect quiet nest for you. Do you fucking hear what I'm saying? We sold Kendall on living in that townhouse because it was going to be the perfect quiet nest for him. His racist fucking neighbors would later say that he was a crazy black man throwing wild parties all night. You fucking liars. You fucking liars. So my only trepidation about Kendall moving into this house was when I was on Reddit looking for my own place 6 months later. I looked in his neighborhood. I was like, well, if Kendall lives in this neighborhood and my friend Carlos, y'all know Carlos Fit Buddha, lives in the same neighborhood, I'm thinking about maybe looking for a townhouse in that neighborhood until I came across a Reddit board that said, hey, if you're a black person, particularly a black person in the industry thinking about moving in this neighborhood, maybe don't do it because they'll smile on your face, but they're actually really racist over there. And there's an Asian community over there that pretends to be nice, but they're racist too. That's the only reason I did not move into Kendall's neighborhood. He'd already been there for 6 months by the time I moved, right? Kendall moved in June. I moved in December. So when it came to December of me looking for a place, the only reason I did not move to Kendall's area was because Reddit told me they're a little racist over there. And Kendall had already started to tell me things that were concerning me. Do you see the kind of picture that I'm drawing right now? All right, let's start with the videos. Y'all trying to bully Kendall on social media and y'all really thought we were, sorry, y'all. Give me a second. Let me take my blood pressure pill. I'm a very protective friend. Y'all know how I feel about my friends. So I was going to do this last night. I was like, nah, Blue, sleep on it because last night I would have been more violent than this. Let me take my pill. And respectfully, fuck you, Binoy. Binoy is the ringleader of the evil racist neighbors, by the way. Binoy is the fucking clout chaser who wants to kick off his social media career by attacking Kendall. Yeah, nigga, I know exactly who the fuck you are. And you guys know that I'm a very legal bitch because I have journalistic integrity. So the thoughts of Blue Tulusma are only the thoughts of Blue Tulusma, not Kendall. I'm the angry friend. I'm the bad guy here. Also, I will only be sharing things that are already publicly shared. I'm not doxing anybody. I'm not sharing anything that isn't public knowledge or hasn't already been mentioned by all parties publicly. Okay? Not too fucking much, Binoy. The fact that all this happened when I left London, and when I was in London, I was racially profiled by a Southeast Indian man who did not think that I deserved to be in VIP seats at the Beyonce concert because his racist ass didn't think I could afford to be in the same section as him. And then I come back to find out that a bunch of Southeast Asian people and white people have all conspired against my friend. This is why the word BIPOC makes me nervous sometimes, because I do believe in being allies with non-white people who also understand the intersection of race and everything else that's happening systemically in this country. And though there is a model minority thing that happens with a lot of people who are not black, but also not white, where they live in this weird mezzanine where they think they can be fucking racist just because they're not white. We can't call them out. I really hate that shit. I really hate that shit because I work so hard to be an ally to every BIPOC community, every queer and marginalized community I can think of. But y'all love sometimes to have these outliers who go out of their way to remind us that we still niggas and at least y'all not niggas. Right? Y'all love to remind us that the BIPOC is still not black. And you feel superior because the BIPOC is still not black. So for today, we're going to differentiate between BIPOC and black because y'all like to differentiate. And I think that this is why Binoy thought that he could be the asshole to do this, because he's thinking, well, there's white neighbors, but I'm Asian, so they can't, I'm Indian, they can't call me. Gandhi was racist, y'all. Gandhi hated niggas. Look it up. Gandhi moved to South Africa and told the South African government that he would like for Indian people to be seen as Aryans in solidarity with the white folks in South Africa to go against black people who are actually from there. Hold on, did I drop something? I just dropped my water. Hold on. I'm so pissed I'm dropping shit. So just be clear, the reason why I'm saying even Gandhi was fucking racist is because Binoy's probably going to play damsel when this is over. When Binoy finds out that he fucked around and played with the right bitch, he's probably going to do the whole, oh no, the angry black lady. Nah, nigga, not too fucking much. Not too fucking much. So let's get started. This is a video proving everything I just said in the last 10 minutes of me coming back from London and dropping my bags and going to Kendall's house to help him move. Because y'all know that I like to drown people in receipts, so none of us can pretend and play stupid, right? And I want to do a video at some point about how I think this newfound hatred for content creators and influencers, usually happening from people who themselves want to be content creators and influencers, is the new pick-me. Hating content creators is the new recession indicator. Let me breathe. Somebody said anti-blackness. Hey, Blue. Hey, family. Somebody said anti-blackness is baked in every colonialism touch first. Yeah. India has one of the most rigorous caste systems in the world. So, and watch Binoy be like, I'm not Indian, I'm Pakistani. Whatever you are a sorely non-white who thought you could be racist and you wouldn't be called out because you had a tan. It's not working. Okay. It's not working. And guys, today I'm making the colors red because it's Aries season and it was just Kendall's birthday. Tomorrow is Bridget's birthday. And Mel's birthday is coming up soon. And so many other people's birthdays. So that's why the colors are red. I usually don't have red on my page. All right. So let's go back to last June when Kendall first moved in this place. And we all thought mistakenly that him being a good human, moving onto a quiet street where he rarely throws functions, doesn't like anybody in his house except for his close friends and his daddy. I can vouch for that. And was just going to have a place for him and his dogs to stay for a year while he figured out his next move about if he wanted to get a house or not. By the way, that's always been the plan. It's always been the plan. Let's see when we thought things were going to be innocent and free.
Thanks to Blue. Woo-hoo! All that liquor. We got a liquor store now. It ain't on the floor no more. Wow. You say you feel like who? I feel like Harriet Tubman. Bye.
I said I feel like Harriet Tubman because Kendall, let me change the background because I don't like this black background. Kendall had about 3,000 bottles of expensive liqueurs on the first floor of his house. And I, being a friend, was like, oh, friend, I'll help you move them upstairs. Child, I wish I had been wearing one of them my Apple Watch. Maybe I actually was wearing my Apple Watch because the way I got me some steps in, moving all them hundreds of bottles up and down. Let's play this one more time so you can see how many bottles I moved.
Okay, thanks to Blue. Woo-hoo!
I moved all those bottles up flights of stairs. I was sweating like a runaway enslaved African. That's why I made the Harriet Tubman joke. I was sweating like our ancestors from doing this. I brought all those bottles up lovingly. And if you pause, these are very expensive bottles of liquor, right? So I'm like, Kendall, you rich, friend. This place is nice.
All that liquor. We got a liquor store now. It ain't on the floor no more. Wow. You say you feel like who? I feel like Harriet Tubman. Bye.
What in the hell?
Yeah, that's what it feel like.
700 pairs of shoes. Captain's log. I offered to help Kendall move. And hey friend, you so fucking tall. So proud of you, friend. I said, I'm proud of you. This house is giving secretly rich friend. This is like 8 floors.
5 bedrooms.
You know what's so crazy? It's a year later, and I live in a house that's just like the one that Kendall is in. Let's shout out to manifesting. This time last year, I was reveling at my friend's beautiful townhouse, not realizing a year later I'd be living in one similar. Won't he do it? I'm trying to be positive because I was getting mad. I just took my iron supplement because y'all know I like to take my vitamins in the morning. All right, let's continue. Y'all see how happy it is, right? Everybody's happy. Everybody's excited for Kendall.
Yeah, Kendall is doing well. I will say this though, I haven't seen Love Island, so please don't ruin it for me. Captain's log. It is now damn near midnight. Kendall's taking me home.
Now I don't know because of copyright if there's music playing in the background, but in the video it was literally midnight. Kendall tried to stop me. I'm the kind of person, if I offer to help you, I really mean that shit. We stayed there till about 11:55. We were there all fucking night helping him move because I wanted his new start to feel good.
Who are you talking
to? The people.
Oh.
Yo, I'm.
This is too sweet. I'm at the age now where I can't drink shit that's too sweet.
Delirious. I'm delirious.
Okay, so things were good, right? And then I'm gonna fast forward this because I'm scared the music in the back is gonna give me a copyright strike.
Take breaks.
Okay.
My neighbors be.
So things were good, and then over the summer, Kendall, Mike, I think Jesse Wu and a couple other people worked on a really great project that they're gonna announce sometime soon. Don't wanna whatever. So Kendall and Jesse and Mike, 3 of my favorite people, are working on a thing together. A thing that hasn't come out yet. And Kendall is excited. Mike is excited because this thing that they're working on together is amazing, right? I'm intentionally not sharing too much because it's not my business to share the details. The reason why I'm saying this, though, is Kendall, when he was done doing whatever he was creating with Mike and their team, was so excited about how good it felt that he told his cast members, hey, I just moved into this new place in June. Nobody but like Blue and like 4 other friends have even been over my house. Do y'all want to come to my house to celebrate? Do you hear what I'm saying? You have been working on a creative project with people that you care about for weeks. You finally wrapped and you have a new house that nobody but a handful of friends have seen. You tell them, come over my new house for some drinks. Let's celebrate that we've just done this amazing thing that we can't wait to put out into the world. They're all hanging out. While they're hanging out, mind you, Kendall lives in townhouses that are detached, right? Like my townhouse is not attached to any other townhouse. He lives in detached homes. So his neighbors don't have any walls that they share. So Kendall has this little speaker where he's playing music. While the little speaker is playing music, the window is open because it's still late summer, early fall. A breeze is coming in. Kendall gets a text from his neighbor 1 house over saying, hey, buddy, mind you, I've seen all these texts. He's read them to me. He's shown me screenshots. I'm not saying anything that I haven't seen in myself. And I've also heard about these things in real time. So this is not revisionist history, right? So he gets a text from his neighbor saying, hey, buddy, I can hear some music from your house and we have a baby. Do you mind turning it down? Kendall's like, oh, shit, my bad. Mind you, this is his first time ever having anybody over for any kind of function in his house. He's thinking, oh, the window's open. That's probably why they can hear me. He closes the window and then texts his neighbor back. Hey, I just closed the window. Is that better? The neighbor never responds. Do y'all hear the story and how innocent the story is? And the next day, Kendall called me. He was like, Blue, I know you've been really busy with your new YouTube channel and everything. And so you couldn't come around, but I really wish you could have come to our kickback last night. It was really dope. I got a call the next morning because he was like, I really wish that you could have been hanging out with me and Mike and our friends at the kickback. You would have loved it. But, you know, I understand that you're telling all of us that you can't hang out no more because you're building this new YouTube community. So the only reason I wasn't at this function is because of the Blue crew, right? That's all that happened. As of yesterday, a neighbor who's not even the neighbor who sent the text would go on social media and go viral for telling a very different story about how an evil black man who's constantly throwing wild parties was waking up babies in the middle of the night And now they've all come together as a community to get him kicked out. They skipped the part where there was nobody knocking on his door. It was a text. Kendall immediately closed the window and then said, "Is that better? Is that okay?" And they left him on red. They skipped that part in the viral video that I saw on fucking TikTok last night. They skipped that fucking part. Let me breathe. Then Kendall has more than one vehicle, his main vehicle and a vehicle that he's thinking about giving to his dad. Kendall parks his vehicle in his garage, and he parks the other vehicle in his driveway. Now, this is how it happens in his community. I've seen pictures, but I won't show pictures because they like to lie and say people dox them. In his community, everybody does this, but it just so happens that Kendall's unit is the last unit before guest parking. And so, even though there is plenty of room to drive past Kendall's car to go into guest parking, the neighbors decide they don't like the only black man in the neighborhood parking like they do, because now that he's parked like the rest of them do, when they turn to go into the guest parking spot, they actually have to be more intentional because he's taking up a little bit of the space. So mind you, I saw the tape, the video. The parking space is still accessible. You can still turn the corner and park. It's just that if Kendall is parked outside his driveway, the way everybody else is parked outside of their driveway, you have to be more intentional because it's not an empty space anymore. Mind you, Kendall's house had been empty for over a year. So they had gotten used to doing things outside of their homes that wasn't happening at Kendall's house because it was empty for a year. Are y'all hearing the entitlement? We're doing something that he wants to do now that he's moved into this space that has been empty for a year. But because we're annoyed that our new neighbor is doing the same thing that we're doing, and he's also a scary black man, we're going to now figure out how to tell him that he can't park it the same way that we park because we're annoyed that we have to be intentional now that somebody actually lives in that house. Every other person in the neighborhood parks the way Kendall parks that second car. But because of entitlement, they all come together and write a post-it note. I remember Kendall telling me, he was like, "Blue, I just got a post-it note from my neighbors." And the post-it note said something to the effect of, "Hey neighbor, we see you're parked in your driveway, no big deal. However, because you're parked in your driveway, which is your fucking right, we have to be more intentional when we turn the corner to go into guest parking. How about you don't park in your driveway? There's some really cool new spots that we could show you where you could park outside rather than outside your house the way that we get to do every day." The landlord hits up Kendall. Kendall tells the landlord, "Hey, there's been some scuffle about you parking." And Kendall says, and he was like, "Hey, do you mind parking somewhere else?" And Kendall says, rightfully, as the only black person who's starting to pick up what's happening, he says, "Hey, if I move, does that mean everybody else who's parked the exact same way is going to move too? Because unless they all move, why are there different rules being set for me that are not being set for anybody else who's doing the exact same thing that I'm doing?" The landlord says, "I totally understand, Kendall. I don't want you to feel singled out. I'm just telling you what the neighbors are saying before this becomes any bigger." The landlord is talking to Kendall as if, "I understand why you're confused that you can't park in your own driveway when every single other fucking person with a car is parked in their own driveway. I don't want you to feel singled out. I'm just telling you what's being said behind your back." In the viral video from yesterday, Binoy retells the story as, "Yeah, we talked to the landlord. He's not renewing Kendall's lease. Kendall's being put out anyway, so we ain't got to worry about him much longer." Hundreds of comments. "Oh my God, what a nightmare. Call out his name. Why won't you say who it is? What a horrible neighbor. What a horrible person." Imagine you're coming back from celebrating your birthday and you get a text from your friend saying, "Kendall, there's a bunch of people on social media dragging you for being a nightmare neighbor." And one of them even was bold enough to tag you. One of your passive aggressive fucking racist ass fucking neighbors tagged you so that you could see yourself being dragged because you thought that you had the audacity that because you're paying by yourself the rent that they pay with their roommates, right? Because y'all, in the same way, let me tell you about black luxury. I live in a 1,800 square foot townhouse, 3 levels, 3 bathrooms, no, 4 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms. In my gated community, everybody has to have a roommate to pay their rent but me. I'm the only bitch in my community who is living in this house, a house this size, by themselves and paying the rent by themselves. Kendall has the same, all of Kendall's neighbors, it's 2 or 3 to a house. Kendall is the influencer who can afford to pay for that house by himself. And he's also the only Black person. Please be clear, those are not coincidences about how the IRS is being, because I have experienced it. I know what it's like being a single Black woman who can afford to live in a gated community by myself, what all the white folks have to have fucking roommates, and what that looks like to the neighbors, and how they look at you differently. I said when I first moved in December, hey, the group chat isn't being friendly to me. Y'all remember that? When I moved in December/January, I was like, why is the group chat treating me like an angry Black woman because I sent a message saying, hey, can somebody move out of my parking spot? They were mad that my parking spot that I'm paying hundreds of dollars for every month, they could no longer use because my house was no longer empty because I had moved into it. Just like Kendall. Yes? Thank you. I knew y'all would remember. That's why I very intimately understand what the fuck he's going through. But since I've made that video, guys, 3 new Black folks have moved in. Suddenly everybody's being nice to me because we're starting to outnumber them, yeah? So let's watch Kendall's video, because the thing that happened in September, Kendall didn't think anything of it. I'm celebrating with my castmates. Somebody said they could hear some music because my window was open. I closed the window. I texted them, are we good now? I don't want to wake up your babies. Everything good? They left me on red. That must mean we're good. I'm not thinking, Kendall's not thinking that while I'm just being a regular neighbor, they have now created a group chat against me. February comes. Now it's Amber Riley's birthday. Amber Riley, I know I love Amber Riley. If y'all saw the videos of me and Estelle and at Bridget's event, I was sitting next to Amber and her boyfriend Scoob. They are so fucking fun. They are so fucking fun. Amber Riley and some other people coming to Kendall's house in February, right around Amber's birthday. They're all hanging out for Amber's birthday. And this is now only the second kickback in 6 months. Kendall has only thrown 2 kickbacks in 6 months. One to celebrate with his castmates and one to celebrate his friend's birthday. Binoy would now go in that video and say, yes, our crazy influencer is always having parties till 3 o'clock in the morning. He's so fucking wild. 2 special events in 6 months is throwing ragers. And he uses words like, and he's so aggressive. He's so aggressive. Of course you think the Black man is aggressive. Let's watch Kendall's video.
Fucking with me, they be fucking with me. Bother nobody now. I can park 2 cars outside of my garage. I put 1 car against the wall and put my other car in the garage. Now it's guest parking to the right. I get a note on my car from Bobby, whatever the motherfucking name is.
The person that he's calling Bobby has now revealed himself to be Binoy. You see how he didn't even use the man's real name? The man that he's calling Bobby is Binoy. Binoy, you just exposed yourself. You're Bobby.
Hey, it's hard for me to get in the guest parking. I was wondering if you can move your car to the street. I know some really cool spots.
Can you imagine you parked right outside your house and somebody says, hey, because I can't use because it's tricky for me to turn the corner because I'm a bad fucking driver. I'm not using any stereotypes. So guys, don't be racist in here because they're racist. And you know that Karens like to do a reverse Uno card. So Bobby, aka Binoy, is like, oh, I have to be intentional about using guest parking, so I want you to park on the street. Do y'all hear the entitlement in that? Everybody else gets to park outside their house, but because you, nigga, have inconvenienced me, can you park on the street? I know some really cool spots on the street, nigga. Right, okay.
You want me to show you. Bobby, or whatever the fuck your name was, you knew not to come to my door with this shit. You knew to put a motherfucking note on my car. Bitch, if you know where the motherfucking really cool spots are, you take your motherfucking car and park that bitch over there.
Do you see how you can be racially profiled for 6 months? Finally say enough is a fucking enough. Leave me alone, Karen. But when the story gets told, you're a crazy, aggressive Black man who just got angry out of nowhere.
Cool as that, buddy. Fuck, you ain't even supposed to be over there. That's for the motherfucking guests. Let's get on Isabel from 747 that hit me up on WhatsApp outside of the group chat.
Now, here's the part where they lied and said he doxed. He said Isabel from 747. You guys, I have a neighbor named Andrew. Andrew lives in 835. If I say Andrew from 835 parked in my spot, because Andrew from 835 did park in my spot, guess what? I didn't dox him. 835. The number of your house is the least doxable part of your house, especially if nobody knows your street and or neighborhood. Even right now in this chat, I'm not even saying Kendall's neighborhood. There is a TV show called Apartment 9. There's a series called Apartment 9. Is that doxing? Every time we watch a TV show called Apartment 27, is that doxing? Binoy would now go in the live video and said, he doxed this poor woman in our neighborhood. That was the dox moment, guys. Kendall's a doxer now. When we watched that TV show 227 in the 90s, apparently that was doxing. Now the crazy black man is doxing little white damsels now. That's the story that's being told. Crazy black man is doxing. Bruh.
Hey, Kendall, two strangers ring my doorbell today, and I talked to them through the ring. I didn't open the door, and they said that they were attacked by a dog and wanted to know if I had any footage on my Ring camera. I didn't have any. I checked. I was wondering if you had any, because they said it happened more towards your way. Ain't nobody get attacked by no motherfucking dog, because if they did, they would have rung everybody doorbell on that motherfucking sidewalk and asked.
If you ever met Kendall's dog, I tell Kendall this all the time. His dog is so chill. I once mistook the bitch for being an ottoman. I almost put my fucking foot on her. I thought she was an ottoman. Kendall's dogs are sleepy, and the little one only makes a ruckus when the big one is in her spot when she's in the sun. Kendall yells at his dogs the way black parents yell at their children. Sit your ass down. His dogs are as well behaved as black kids in a white neighborhood. The fuck out of
Hey, do you have any footage? Ain't nobody come to my shit. This is pertaining to me taking my trained dog that I spent a lot of money on training.
Kendall spends a lot of money on, because I'm trying to get a dog. Kendall spends a lot of money training his dogs. A lot of money. He sends them away to be trained.
Outside without no leash at night across the sidewalk so she can pee when it ain't nobody around. Girl, fuck you. Tired of you, Bobby, and whoever else got something to say around that bitch that's trying to be passive, bitch. I told her ass, you might want to ask Alice and Christina, because that's where it probably happened. Oh, I asked them and they don't see anything. Well, bitch, if they don't see nothing, I don't see nothing either, ho. Our townhouse is right next to each other. I'll ask them again. What you gonna ask them again for? I told her ass.
Mind you, Kendall's also mentioned to me that when him and his dogs are walking, mind you, Kendall is 6'2". He looks 6'5". He claims he's 6'2". I'm not sure I believe him. Kendall is 6'2" and has one big old dog and one little young dog. He's very easy to spot. When his neighbors see him, Bobby, aka Binoy, will literally turn his head so that he won't address him. To the point where Kendall was like, he must be a visitor. He must not live here. Kendall didn't find out that Binoy actually lived there until yesterday when he made the video, because that's how much Binoy refuses to make eye contact with him when he sees him on the street. He literally told me when he's walking his dogs, some of his neighbors will look away and intentionally avoid eye contact. But when the white women in the neighborhood walk their dogs, oh my God, your dog is so cute. Hi. Oh my God, he's so adorable. These are the microaggressions that happen when you are a lone black person in a neighborhood that's considered affluent, who's shocked that there's a nigga in their system.
As I said, well, I'm glad you talked to them through the ring, because that's very suspicious. When he came to your door, didn't come to mine or Alex or Christina's. Silence. Yeah, y'all better leave me the fuck alone. I am in the corner, not bothering nobody, minding my damn business with me and my motherfucking dogs.
And when I tell you Kendall does not like people in his house, Kendall is the kind of person that if you stay at his house for the weekend and he says you can be there Friday through Sunday, you need to leave on Sunday. Like, it's not, oh, can I stay an extra week? He's not one of those. And it's not because he's not hospitable. It's because he's particular about his space and he's a quiet person. A lot of people who meet Kendall in real life are surprised that when he's not at a party, he's a quiet, chill person. I'm the same way. I do these lives. Before I do a live, I can spend an entire 24 hours not speaking to anybody. Y'all don't understand what being an ambivert is. An ambivert is somebody who can be animated, but in real life, they recharge by being quiet.
And cars. It's nosy because don't nobody talk to y'all. Y'all want to know what the fuck going on over there. Bitch, my business and my bills that you're not paying. Better leave me the fuck alone before I...
So do you see how in this instance, Kendall is the lone black man. He recognizes they're being passive aggressive and not being friendly to him. He minds his business. And because he's minding his business, now they're leaving notes on his windshield and walking up to his door. Because he's minding his business. Because they haven't been able to get him to be the angry black man so they can file a case, they're now poking at him, trying to engage with him.
I get ghetto. I'll be trying to stay corporate. It's almost every season too. They better leave me the fuck alone. My neighbors don't like me.
This is 2 weeks later. Now, the first video happened at the end of February. This video happened in mid-March.
And I think it's safe to say we don't like each other. Nobody want to speak to me now. Crazy work. You would think that I'm a problem child around that bitch. The fuck? Picking and choosing when they want to speak. How about I do you a favor? Let's just not speak. Do that in life, period, anyway.
The angry black man has now made a second video saying, how about we all do each other a favor and leave each other alone? I've never not left you alone, but how about you leave me alone? If you can't be nice, just leave me alone. Ooh, so angry. You're such an angry, unreasonable black man. How dare you breathe our air and tell us to leave you alone?
If you go from speaking to me to not speaking to me, bitch, I'm going to do you a favor. We don't have to speak again. I'm not temperature checking with nobody. You want to change the temperature? I'm not changing it back. Bitch, right where it's at. You ones act like they ain't see me. Go ahead and wave at me. I just drove straight out the damn drive.
Ever since the group chat has been talking about him, suddenly they changed tactics. They were like, we can't get this man to engage with us in an argument so we can call the police on him. So let's start waving and being in his face and see if we can get him to speak to us. And Kendall said, I'm not falling for it. Please just leave me alone.
That way I don't even see you. Park in the garage, want to try to wave. I press the button, let the garage down when you're talking to them. Like when it be a little issue, it don't even be these don't be no issues. They be causing the issues. But whatever the case may be, I'm sure they talk to each other. Everybody else pick up the same energy that...
Do you see how the black instinct works? He was like, I'm sure they talk to each other. Everything that Kendall is saying in these videos that he's been suspecting for months got confirmed yesterday in that video. But no, you're a dumbass because what you did is you confirmed that he wasn't crazy. I've been listening to Kendall complain about this since he moved there. You overplayed your hand, brother.
Them fools be on. I don't even talk to y'all, baby. Go ahead. Go ahead. Don't speak to me. Don't speak to me.
Oh, yeah. The neighbors have started using burner accounts to harass Kendall on his page. So feel free to, when you watch Binoy's video, to go hit up Binoy and say, what's up? We're just returning the favor. If y'all want to, guess how they're harassing him? They are now having burner accounts and going on Kendall's page saying, so I heard they're not renewing your lease. I heard you getting put out your house. They're now harassing him on social media. I was on the phone with Kendall last night as the messages were coming in. So if y'all delete them, too late, bitch. I already saw them. They have started harassing Kendall because he tried to be a black man in a non-black neighborhood minding his business. I wish, ooh, I'm so happy my neighbors knew fucking better. You know how I got my neighbors to leave me alone? I said, hey guys, I'm a streamer. I stream to thousands of people every week. Suddenly everybody's real quiet and nice. Yeah. I have an audience. You should probably leave me alone. And like Kendall, I know my neighbors have looked me up.
When you feel like it. It's mad because you can't figure out what I do. I'm not talking to y'all. I will call the police on y'all.
All right, I've got major tea to spill.
This is Binoy. Let's let Binoy. Here's the thing. Binoy only has 30,000 followers on TikTok. And I did some investigating on his page. He is using Kendall in order to get his follower count up. And I have proof, right? But if you want to know who he is, because he wants followers so much, it's Binoy Music. Apparently, he is a musician. Binoy Music over at TikTok wants to use harassing Kendall and sharing stories that have nothing to do with him and falsehoods about a black man in his neighborhood as a way for him to become a clout-chasing influencer. This is Binoy. He's not white. This is Binoy. This is Bobby who left a note. Let's hear Bobby's account of events because you're hearing my account and you guys know I'm not a fucking liar. I have receipts for everything. I have way more receipts than this, right? You've heard my account. Let's hear Binoy's account of what happened because I want you to hear what happens when a non-black BIPOC person who has racial bias has convinced himself to be a Karen. Listen to the way that he retells the story, despite what the facts and the receipts say. Listen to this.
About my new influencer neighbor who has been talking mad shit on the internet about all of us in the neighborhood, despite he himself being the problem and the antagonizer. So let me start by saying I've lived in my spot for a little over 5 years. Never once has there been any sort of like issue or drama with the neighbors.
Because never once has there been a black person, Binoy, but go off though.
Until this guy, I will not name him because I'm not that petty, moves in a few months ago. The problem begins with his immediate next door neighbors who had recently had a baby. Now this guy, after moving in, starts having parties until like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Binoy, you're a fucking liar. Binoy, you're a fucking liar. He's had 2 kickbacks in 6 months, one in September and one in February. You're a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar, Binoy.
Playing music really loud. His neighbors, the ones with the baby, go over, knock on the door and ask him, hey, would you mind turning the music down?
Binoy, you're a fucking liar. Nobody went over his house. They sent him a text. We have the screenshots, Binoy. You're a fucking liar. Continue lying.
It's a little bit loud. Our baby's already having trouble sleeping. Nothing happens. Nothing changes. Multiple nights in a row.
Binoy, you're lying. It was one night and it changed immediately. He closed the window and texted back, is that okay? And then never responded. You're a fucking liar. There's screenshots, Binoy. There are screenshots. There's also lawyers, Binoy. There are also lawyers, Binoy. There are also lawyers and screenshots, Binoy. But go off, though.
Issue number 2 arises when this guy who has 2 cars starts blocking our guest parking spots.
He's blocking the guest parking spots by parking outside his house the way the rest of y'all do. Got it.
Entitled to use those guest parking spots. Also, we have a very good street that has great parking, super easy to get permits. That's what the
Wait, if the street has great parking, then why don't you park on the street? If the street has great parking, why don't you park on the street? Because he's parked outside the house that he's paying for by himself, while you are a disingenuous roommate who we didn't even know lived there until yesterday.
rest of us do. Instead, he chooses to park in front of his garage and block access to the guest parking spots. Now, my roommate and I write a very nice note that literally it took 5 of us standing around a table drafting this, trying not to sound too aggressive.
Do you hear this part? My roommate and I, it took 5 of us to write a post-it note trying not to sound aggressive. The only time it takes 5 people to sit around writing a post-it note to a black person is if they already know that they are aggressive and they don't want their mean girl shit to slip out. It does not take 5 people to write a post-it note. It took 5 of you to write a post-it note saying, hey, person who's parked outside their own house, we're inconvenienced by you parking outside your own house. Could you park on the street? We know some cool spots. It took 5 people to approach a black man who's been trying to mind his business for almost a year. Binoy, why would it take 5 people to write a post-it note to a black man? Binoy, why would it take 5 fucking people to write a single post-it note to a black man who's been trying to mind his business? Please feel free to go tell Binoy what you think about him. Because Binoy's caption was, oh, you want to talk on the internet? Let's talk then. That's his caption. Really, Binoy? Really, Binoy? So Binoy literally wrote an antagonizing caption about how he is salivating at taking down his influencer neighbor, even though he himself wants to be an influencer. The caption is story time, my nightmare influencer neighbor. Baby, as somebody who understands SEO and metrics and how you get people to, that's literally the perfect SEO tag for Instagram. That is a clout chase. That title is a clout chase. If I was going to try to make a video go viral, that's the literal caption that I would choose as a content creator. Got it.
Trying to be super polite, just saying, hey, would you mind not parking here? We can help you get a permit. We can show you where to park. You can also use the guest parking spot. It's just kind of like a bit of an inconvenience for the rest of us.
You want a black man to get a permit to park on the street because you're inconvenienced about the fact that you have to be intentional when you turn the corner to go into guest parking. But he's not a guest, he actually lives there. You want a black man to get a permit to park on the street so that you're not inconvenienced when you're going into guest parking. You want a black man who's paying the entirety of his several $1,000s rent a month by himself to get a permit to be on the street, even though there's a spot right outside his house, even though all the other neighbors park right outside their houses. You want the lone black man in the fucking neighborhood to get a permit to park on the street because you politely told him that he inconvenienced you and now he has to fucking move because you said so as a guest in guest parking. Binoy, you are a piece of shit. Not allegedly. You are a piece of shit. And I hope that all those things that you and your family say about black people at the dinner table that are leaking out in this video that you don't even clock are telling on you. I hope they bite you in the fucking ass.
Very nice. A few months pass, his behavior never changes, and then my roommate and I stumble upon his Instagram. The first
That's a lie. You didn't stumble across his Instagram. A few months passed and he has paid you dust and ignored you. And you're annoyed that you cannot convince this man to do what you want. So you go looking for him on social media. And because his social media is now changed to his name, Andre Kendall, you were able to find him and you realize that he's a big influencer with 1.9 million followers on Instagram alone. And you decided yesterday, after seeing that he was celebrating his birthday, that this was the perfect time for you to do your clout chase. Get the fuck out of here, bruh.
First video we open starts with him saying, "My neighbors hate me and I hate them," and going on a super aggressive tear against his neighbors with the baby, essentially painting
A super aggressive tear against his neighbors with the baby. You guys just watched the video. Kendall was mad at Binoy, aka Bobby. You decided to say that a black man was aggressively attacking a baby, your neighbors with a baby, rather than saying a black man was frustrated that you wouldn't leave him alone after 6 months and called you out. That is a lie, Binoy. We just all watched the video together. The video was about Bobby, and then he proceeds to tell other stories. But it's a sexier story to say that your angry black influencer neighbor is attacking a baby. We all just watched it together, Binoy. We all know you're lying now. Did you mention the second video where after he was rightfully enraged about being harassed for months on end, he said, "Can we all just leave each other alone?" Was that aggressive? Because reasonable sacred rage at being harassed for several months, we don't even have to talk about that. My audience is too smart to fall for that dog whistle of aggressive, right? But what about the second video where he said, "Can we all just leave each other alone?" But no, why didn't you mention the second video? Why do you want to take a snapshot of this black man in the one moment where you finally got him angry and use that moment to be his entire character, but don't mention the subsequent video where he says, "Can we all just leave each other alone?" Why is that, Binoy? The anti-blackness is fucking loud, Binoy.
himself as the victim and whipping up his followers into this like rage-fueled frenzy. With
You guys, all you niggas who are in the audience, you're also in a rage-fueled frenzy. Are you listening to the words that Binoy is using? Rage-fueled frenzy. Rage-fueled frenzy. Somebody said, "Oh, he's deleting my comments." All I said was I heard that people with disheveled hair is a cover-up for the insecurity and going bald early. Oh, shit. Y'all are funny. Mind you, when he found out that his neighbors had tagged Kendall, he responded, "Ooh, I love that this is becoming a thread." He knew that Kendall had been identified because I spent all last night doing forensic accounting in your comments, Binoy. So fuck anything that you deleted. I already saw it, baby. I already saw it and took screenshots, my nigga. Before you knew that you had messed with a nigga who had a bitch like me behind him. I already watched the entire I spent all night in your comments, Binoy. I'm a little bit crazy when it comes to protecting my friends. You accounted for Kendall. You didn't account for me, my nigga. Sorry, you're not a nigga. That's part of the problem, isn't it? When you found out that one of your neighbors had tagged Kendall, you were gleeful that it became a sub-thread in the comment section. So don't play damsel now when the same thing happens to you, my guy. You loved it when they were attacking Kendall last night. Don't play damsel tonight when it's your turn. Not too fucking much, my guy. Not too fucking much, my guy. I wonder if you blocked me yet. Let me play the video because I have client calls soon. To my clients at 10:30, I'm about to be late because I'm sorry, it's my friend. I will give you an extra 5 minutes in your sessions because not too. I'm enraged right now.
Then find another video where he starts talking about us and the note that we left on his car, completely misrepresenting the situation, painting himself as the victim yet again, and just cussing us out. The worst thing of all, though, in my opinion, is one of my other neighbors, super sweet lady. He not only calls her out by name, but lists her address in his video, where
this is the fake doxing allegation. This is the fake doxing allegation, guys. He said a super sweet lady was called out by name and listed her address. You guys, if I was to make a TV show right now called Sandra from Apartment 9, that is not doxing. Binoy, you're either malicious or stupid. I'm not sure which one is worse. Binoy, this is me hitting up my clients to tell them I'm about to be late because I need to finish this up. Binoy, you're either stupid or malicious. I'm not sure which one is worse. Okay. Hold on. Let me let the video play while I send this email.
Again, he's kind of just like engagement and rage baiting, making up stuff and completely just...
But no, he's not making up stuff, my baby. Everything that you're saying that he did, I actually have receipts for. I feel so bad for you because sometimes when people lie, you don't know who knows who. You don't know who knows who. So I feel really bad for you, Binoy. You really, really, really had no idea who you were dealing with. All right, hold on. I'm going to send her an email right now. And to my love who I'm about to send this email to, I so apologize. If you know me, you know how I feel about my friends. This is too important for me not to do it. Hold on, let me put this in. Okay. I just moved it. I'm going to send her an email. All right, let's keep playing this liar.
Misrepresenting the truth of what's going on. He's basically just doing this all for engagement on his declining Instagram page, but it is just crazy.
Wait, he's doing this for engagement on his declining Instagram page? But no, Kendall has 1.9 million followers. You have, on just one platform alone, you have 30,000 followers. Boys and girls, what do we call it when somebody with 30,000 followers calls a black man with 1.9 million followers a declining content creator? Thank you. Projection.
Easy to kind of witness like the severe contrast in the reality of situation versus what he's presenting and portraying the situation to be. Playing the victim, being super dramatic. He's just an awful person. I cannot believe it.
So Binoy's thing is Kendall is an awful person because he thought it was okay for him to park outside his house the same way all his white and non-black neighbors do. And he had the audacity not to get a permit to park on the street so that Binoy wouldn't be inconvenienced when going into guest parking. Kendall is a horrible person because he thought he had the right to enjoy his home the way his neighbors enjoy his home. And that inconveniencing you, Binoy, makes him a bad person. And you don't see the irony in that. Thank you, Gia. It's giving jealous. It's giving very jealous. So here's the thing, guys. So I went to Binoy's page because y'all know how I am. Binoy has 30,000.2 followers. Binoy's videos don't ever get more than 2,000 views, which on TikTok is very easy to get. You could fart on a video on TikTok and get 1 million views, right? TikTok is not hard to get views above 2,000. But in his 2,000 views, I recognize the only time Binoy has ever gone viral was when, you see how it's pinned up here? The only time Binoy has ever gone viral is when he was, I guess, something happened at his house where somebody threw a bottle through his window. And the drama of being in a neighborhood where something happened to him was the only time that anybody gave a fuck about Binoy. He made a 5-part series about it. Yes, guys, Binoy is very jealous of Kendall's career. So when a musician can't get more than a couple hundred likes, but realizes that the only time anybody has ever given a fuck about him, this is the part, again, Binoy, this is the part that you didn't account for. Forensic accounting. Nobody gives a fuck about you unless you're complaining about your neighborhood, Binoy. So what do you think someone like Binoy is going to think when he goes to Kendall's page last week and realizes that Kendall's a big influencer who happens to be his neighbor? Let's watch Binoy show us the one time anybody gave a fuck about him, because it's going to explain why he decided to make this video about Kendall and why he's gleefully commenting about Kendall's demise in the comments, even after Kendall was identified. I keep pointing that out because, Binoy, when it's your turn, you're going to play damsel and call us bullies, even though you bullied first. Not too fucking much. What did I tell you? I bully bullies. I've been bullying bullies since I was 7 years old. I'm not even trying to work on this. I like this part of my character. I like that if you fuck with somebody that I love, then it's your ass. I also like the fact that I do research to make sure I'm on the right side of history and I don't use emotion alone. I'm not a vigilante. I'm an investigative journalist. Let's watch. Oh, I need to breathe. Let's mute this. But the video says, hold on, let's look. The video says, POV, cleaning up after 2 guys try breaking into your house and you end up fighting them off with an Owala bottle. So Binoy was attacked, he's saying, and he had to fight off his attackers with a water bottle. Because Benoy's a fucking liar, I'm not sure I believe this story. Binoy, you look like you couldn't even fight off a fruit fly. I don't believe that you fought off attackers with a water bottle. I think you're a liar. Right? I think you're a liar. But this is Binoy alleging, and this is the bottle that he alleges that he played Superman. He alleges that 2 assailants tried to rob him, and he used a water bottle to fight off 2 assailants. Y'all just saw Binoy. Binoy barely looks like he hold his head up. You know when you have a newborn baby and they can't hold their head up, so you have to hold the baby. Binoy, don't nobody believe that you used this influencer water bottle. And here's the thing about this lie. Binoy, I'm calling you a fucking liar. Feel free to tag me. Binoy, feel free to have your friends tag me. I'm built different. Unlike Kendall, I don't fear the smoke. I am the smoke, Binoy. Pick on somebody your own size. Well, actually, that still wouldn't be me, right? So Binoy alleges that he was attacked and fought off assailants with a very aesthetic bottle from a brand that he happens to follow. Oh, you guys remember the water bottle? So yeah, because it's the only time anybody ever gave a fuck about Binoy. Nobody cares about you unless you're telling lies about your neighborhood. So he tells this lie, and then when that bottle video goes viral, decides to turn it into a story time because he wants to be a content creator. But Binoy, I thought content creators were evil and they're ravage in the neighborhood. Or is that only when they're black and successful? Is being a content creator only bad when it's a successful black man? Because when it's you, right, a dusty musician, it's noble, right? Let's watch Binoy tell his harrowing story about how he fought off 2 assailants. Not 1, but 2 assailants with a water bottle, but somehow can't figure out how to turn the corner to park and guest parking. You can fight off 2 assailants trying to rob your house with an aesthetic influencer water bottle, but you're annoyed that Kendall doesn't want to scoot over more because he's parked outside his own house and you want to get in guest parking. My nigga, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, seriously?
About the Owala water bottle that was used to fight off 2 home intruders. Hello, that was me. I've had a ton of comments asking for a full story time, so I thought I would get on here and explain exactly what went down. So for context, I was sitting right here on these pillows, and this, just a few steps away, is my patio. It was about 9 p.m. in the summer, so it had just gotten dark. Obviously right now it's bright outside, but I heard the door handle to that patio door start to jiggle a little bit. We luckily have an alarm, but as I was trying to arm it, I could literally see the door handle going like violently shaking. As soon as I arm the alarm, I just hear and then the alarm starts going off. This, the icon, the legend, the superstar, was the closest thing to me, undented at the time. So I grabbed it, and then I don't know what possessed me, but I got up and walked towards the door. At this point, the glass was like cracking and chunks of it were falling down onto the ground. I stood here, hello, and through the cracking glass, I saw 2 men, both with their hoods up. One of them had a long pick and a hammer, and so obviously I started yelling. Luckily, the
How much you want to bet that one of them looked like a black man, and that's why Binoy doesn't want Kendall in the neighborhood, child?
one with the pick and hammer immediately started making his way backwards towards the fence. The other guy literally wouldn't move, and so for whatever reason, armed with only this, I decided to open the door and go outside, chunks of glass still falling down. We sort of just awkwardly looked at each other for a couple of seconds.
Thank you. His own video shows more of the neighborhood. Binoy, you are more of a doxer than Kendall is. Kendall has never showed this much of his neighborhood.
Before he lunged towards my waist. Now I've had to make a quick Owala substitution because I needed one that still had this handle. I was holding the bottle like this, and as he lunged...
Do you see how this is an infomercial for the bottle and how it's a clear way for him trying to... You guys, the Stanley Cup became viral years ago because a woman got into a car accident and everything burnt but her Stanley Cup. Binoy is very, very, very transparently trying to recreate that viral moment. This is a very transparent attempt to recreate the Stanley Cup moment. He not only mentions the cup when it's time and relevant, he constantly keeps mentioning the cup and showing off the cup and its features. This is called an infomercial. All my friends have in some way dabbled in content creation. I am now a content creator myself. I'm very clear telling you, this is how the sausage is made. This is an influencer grab. This is him trying to become a content creator. Yeah, so I had to replace it with this one because I need this handy feature. Nigga.
At me, I swung once, hit him kind of on the temple, and then again on the side of his head. All right, the OG is back in. At this
Ooh, the OG bottle that I used to beat up two mass assailants.
point, the handle had snapped off. I was pushed against the wall and the bottle fell, but luckily close enough that I was able to pick it up just like this, and I gave him a couple of very, very hard hits on the top of his head. He stumbled backwards and then started trying to climb back over the fence. Meanwhile, I was looking around me and realized his backpack was pretty much right here. My friends are super 50-50 on whether this was crazy or not, but I picked up the backpack and I threw it over the fence. I did not want them coming back for it. No way. Anyways, they did not...
Oh, so I threw away the evidence that this ever happened.
Not come back. I called my neighbors. The cops arrived shortly thereafter. All was fine, and that's the story. Also, shout out to Owala for low-key saving my life.
Shout out to Owala for low-key saving my life, and there you have it. An influencer is born.
Stay safe, everyone.
Actually so heavy. And it's like solid.
And guess what, guys? It worked. Hey, come with me to unbox this incredible care package that Owala sent me after the break-in, after I did a 2-minute infomercial that went viral and had 15 million views, where I said that me and them together helped fight off mass assailants. Are y'all seeing what's happening right now? But no, I know what you are, baby. You are a clout-chasing demon who wants to destiny swap and simultaneously get like bully the black man who you couldn't convince to park on the street. You're so annoyed that a black man is parking outside his house and you have to be intentional when you turn the corner. By the way, guys, I can't show you a picture of the house because unlike Binoy, I do care about him and Kendall's privacy, but Kendall has filled my phone with all the videos. There is more than enough space to turn that corner.
For reference.
Come with me to unbox my new care package. The height of Binoy's TikTok career, because it's pinned, is getting a couple of water bottles.
That's crazy. What?
Open it.
Here's his roommate.
Actual safe. I need to take it out of the box, but what the heck?
Actually
They
great.
sent him a safe full of water bottles.
Okay, let's see what's inside. Oh, wow. Open first.
Someone said this is how racism looks like in LA. It is usually the people of color who are the most racist. I hate to say it, but she's not wrong.
Okay. Hey Binoy, we're so sorry you had to deal with the break-in and so relieved that we could weirdly be of service to you in this instance. Hearing that you fought real burglars off with your Owala made our whole team's day. That dent is impressive. You should feel very proud. We know this experience must have been stressful, which is why we'd love to treat you to an all expenses paid weekend getaway. We're not kidding. Let's plan it together.
They gave him a safe full of water bottles and a weekend getaway. This is the highlight of Benoy's life, y'all. By the way, Kendall gets gifts like these on a almost daily basis, but go off, okay?
Stay safe, sip happy, and keep that bottle close. That's crazy. What the heck? Damn, we have got goodies in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 different.
No, you're a cloud
bottles.
chaser. I'm granting your wish. But no, you're a cloud chaser, and I'm a genie. I'm granting your fucking wish, my guy. I'm granting your fucking wish. You wanted to be relevant, my nigga? You are relevant. Look at you. You better get so many new followers. You welcome.
What's this thing up at the top? So cute. Wow. A hat.
Now, hold on. Not you commit. No, baby, you can't admit to committing a crime on here.
I just wanted to say a few quick thank yous. Firstly, of course, to Awala for sending all the goodies for the week.
By the goodies, you mean 4 mediocre water bottles in a safe? Shout out to the weekend adventure, though. That's cool.
Weekend getaway, which is insane. And of course, to everyone for watching the videos, for commenting on them. I've been cracking up reading so many of the comments.
But no, I hope you're cracking up reading all of our comments after we do this live, since you love comments so much.
Yeah, it's been a crazy few days, but thank you for coming on this little ride with me.
Let me tell you something.
Meanwhile, this is what Kendall does on a regular basis. Binoy was excited about 4 water bottles. This is Kendall's life. When we talk about Darvo, when we talk about destiny swapping, when we talk about clout chasing, when we talk about jealousy, the man who got excited about 4 water bottles is harassing this dwindling influencer who gets this on a regular basis. Nigga, you got 4 water bottles. Ninja sent Kendall their entire fucking line. Do we see the difference? Do we see how people who want to be something act when they're in the presence of the person who actually is already it? The jealousy is loud because, Binoy, you don't understand how granular I look at things. You put in your comments that your nightmare influencer neighbor. You made it a point to highlight that he is an influencer while your page makes it clear that you are craving to be one yourself. Did you not think that cooler heads would prevail and see the mask slip in that choice? Every choice, I studied you last night, my guy. Every choice you made told on you. Even now I'm being nice because there's more things that I peeped about you last night that I'm not saying. There's more things that I could say, though. So you might want to be careful if you respond to me ever in life. If you're ever stupid enough to respond to me, Binoy, just know this is me playing nice. This is me playing nice.
Shark Ninja, you are right with me. The way y'all have hooked me up, baby, it's time to do some unboxing. So let's start small.
So what's funny is we're going to skip this video. I just wanted to show you the juxtaposition. But look at all the shit that they gave Kendall. Literally. This is, in Binoy's wildest dream, he is Kendall in this moment. In Binoy's wildest dreams, he has 1.9 million followers on Instagram alone. And is getting a whole suite of packages on a weekly basis from different brands. In your wildest dream, you are Kendall, my guy. And we all fucking see it. And yet you got on a group chat last night and tried to bully this nigga. The nigga's intended. Yeah? And y'all want to know what else is sinister? Kendall, when he talked to the landlord, was like, hey, if I have to move but nobody else has to move, that would be signaling me out. That doesn't feel good. I'm not okay with that. By the way, that's called a boundary. That's a healthy boundary to set. Why are you making rules for me that don't apply to anybody else? Just because somebody who's a guest is inconvenienced, right? Do you know that after Binoy dropped that video last night, Kendall came home. All the neighbors moved their car onto the street so that it would look like he was the only one parked outside his driveway. All of the neighbors collectively, as a unit of mean girl racists, move their cars that are always outside their driveways to those really cool spots on the street the same day that Binoy dropped a video attempting to expose him. Thinking that nobody like me existed who has been keeping receipts the entire fucking time. And that they could paint a picture that nobody in the neighborhood moves like this except for Kendall. Kendall, oh no, scary black man, please move your car. Kendall and I were on FaceTime. I saw it with my own eyes. He said, Blue, in the year that I've lived here, it's never been this empty. My car, and mind you, the car that he has parked out there, he barely uses, so the battery is dead. He has to get the battery fixed. My car that I'm going to have to get towed away to get fixed anyways is now the only one in that driveway. It has not looked like that the entire time I've lived here. And it just so happened to happen the day that they attempt to take me down on social media. Yes, it is a cult of anti-blackness. Binoy, you're a piece of shit. You are a piece of shit, Binoy. Not allegedly. I, Blue Toulousema, believe that you are a piece of shit. I, Blue Toulousema, not Kendall. Kendall, the thoughts of Blue Toulousema are only the thoughts of Blue Toulousema, okay? Kendall's a good cop in this. I'm bad cop. That concludes our live. And mind you, y'all want to see a picture of the scary black man last night who was telling me the story? But, oh, by the way, when you look up influencer neighbor drama, Binoy is now in the top 2. When you look up influencer neighbor drama, Binoy now is in the top 2 on TikTok as of last night. Your dreams came true. You went viral on the back of Kendall. You went viral on the back of an influencer. And what's the picture of Kendall? Last night while me and Kendall were talking, here's the thing. Kendall is a sweet person. Even though he was very stunned, because imagine he's coming home from his birthday trip. The thing that y'all don't understand about Aries is they're known for being feisty. They're known for being spicy. Are actually secretly very sweet and very sensitive. And the reason why I'm so angry is, even though Kendall wouldn't say it, I could see it in his eyes, he's hurt. You hurt my friend's feelings because he wouldn't let you bully him. He's hurt. Here's a picture. Hold on. Let me find the picture of Kendall last night when we were talking. Hold on. Let me send it again. Send it to Kendall. I have a client call that I cannot reschedule in a second. Here we go. You're painting Kendall as this angry black man. This was us on the phone last night. And the funny thing is, he happened to be wearing a shirt on the flight that said, cool ass black man. His God don't play about him. This is the horrible, angry, diabolical nightmare influencer last night after you hurt his feelings. But yes, please send Kendall love. I'm seeing my friend. Oh, I'm gonna get angry. This is not emotional crying. This is angry crying. You really tried to take my friend out. Oh, I told him last night we were right at dawn. This is bound for me because I live on the West Coast. You really tried to. He had a beautiful weekend where his friends were loving on him for his birthday. I called him so that I could take him to lunch for his birthday. And you all conspired to take him down simply because he left him alone. Simply because he wanted to mind his business. That's what racism looks like in 2026, guys. It's not the anger. My Wi-Fi is going out. That's God telling me to go back to work. It's not the angry MAGAs. It's not the red caps. Racism in 2026, the more pervasive kind, is another person of color who's not black thinking they're better than you because of their proximity to whiteness and trying to bully you by playing damsel while calling you everything that they actually are. Shame on you, Binoy. Fucking shame on you. And by the way, if I hear you doing anything else, because I don't know if you've blocked me or not, If I hear you're doing anything else, I will come for your ass again. Kendall has nothing to do with this. This is me. All right. Yeah, somebody said if Kendall is watching, we love you, Kendall. We do love you, Kendall. We do. And nigga, you know I always have your back. And you know what's wild? I have not texted Kendall all week because he was on vacation. I texted him right after he found out. It's almost like my spirit guides told me to check on him. Something last night said, check on Kendall. I texted Kendall right when all this was happening. That's not a coincidence. Because I just happened this week to be burning a return to sender candle. And what I said is, please reveal any enemies to those, me and those I love. That was my prayer at the beginning of the week. And look at God. Oh, before we go, for those of you who were signing up for Cinco de Mayo, I had said I was going to do this last week and I forgot. I did add 2 more return to sender protection bundles because I found 2 in the storage unit last week and I forgot to add them to the bundle. So there's 2 more return to sender protection bundles. Shit, maybe I should give one to Kendall. And also there's like 10 more tickets that I was able to squeeze into the live event. We're going to be meeting for Cinco de Mayo. I love y'all so much. I got to get to my client calls now. To the clients who got moved, I sincerely apologize. You will be rescheduled. It's just I really had to protect my friend. All right. Natalia said the Blue Crew has your back, Kendall, and we do. We love you guys. Please be an inconvenient victim. Do not let people think that they can play in your face. All right. Until next time, please like the live. And you know, we always have a comment at the end of every live. The comment for this live needs to be protect Kendall at all costs. Because Black men who are actually good human beings, who are not performative, who look out for the Black women and other people in their communities, they need to be protected too. We talk about protecting women. You guys know I'm big on protecting women. But good Black men also need to be protected. And they're not used to being protected. And they're too proud to ask to be protected. Kendall did not ask me to do any of this. I'm doing this on my own accord. Okay? Anybody that I love under my watch has to be safe. Let me go make some coffee. All right, until next time, love you, family. Be good to each other. Protect Kendall at all costs. Bye. And Binoy, fuck you, Binoy. Sincerely.